Welcome to the Screen Time Continuum. It is a wonderful Wednesday. How are you doing, fellas? Nick, Dijon, how is the day going?
Happy Wednesday. Doing all right.
Good. Can't complain. Yeah. It's Hawkeye Wednesday.
Oh, Hawkeye.
Is that still going on? I thought that was over by now.
No, dude. It's a Christmas show. It ends on the week of Christmas. Just in time for his family to be home with his family.
You know, that actually makes sense. Ironically, I have not kept up with that, and that's what happens when it's a holiday special that starts that early. But today, we are talking about the King Richard movie. King Richard is Richard Williams, for those who are not aware. The King Richard movie starring Will Smith. Sorry, had to look at the list really quick. Starring Will Smith, Sanaya Sidney, and Demi Singleton. They are the three main people that are going to be in your face the majority of this movie. But a couple of other actors and actresses that are in this movie that you may find interesting. You have John Bernthal. You have Anjani Ellis, who plays their mother. Dylan McDermott, Tony Goldwyn, and I saw that Jimmy J.J. Walker was in this movie, but I don't remember actually seeing him in the movie. It's just an interesting thing I saw. And Liv Schreiber. Those are probably the most notable names that I saw, but not large of a cast. This movie is based on the life of Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams. And I will stop there. And I will say, for those, before we even give our first initial thoughts or anything on this movie, for anyone who has not seen this movie and would like to see this movie on your own without us giving you any type of information about it, please turn away now. This is your spoiler alert. This is your spoiler alert. The King Richard movie is available for viewing in theaters and on HBO Max currently. This is your spoiler alert. From this point forward, you will find out things about the King Richard movie, which is the story of Venus and Serena Williams and their father, beginning now. So, Nick, Dijon, gentlemen, how did you feel about the movie? Initial thoughts.
Go ahead.
I'm not a fan of Will Smith. Enough said.
I don't really believe that, but hey, fair enough.
Especially after Wild Wild West.
Oh, God, if you're holding on to that. There's no way you're holding on to that. Didn't that come out before Independence Day?
No.
Independence Day was his launch off.
Yeah, they were only like a year or two separate. I promise. Nah, yeah, but you get.
Then after that, I seen Man in Black 2, and I seen some.
Did you skip one?
Yes, I did.
Why would you skip one?
Then I seen After Earth.
All right, look, you guys are only naming the bad movies. That's terrible. I don't appreciate this.
Oh, wait. Let's name the good movies then.
Then I watched Bright, which was good. Then I seen Suicide Squad.
Just bad. He did well in that. I mean, what you got? iRobot, Independence Day, 6 Degrees of Separation,
Concussion.
What was it? 6 pounds, 5 pounds, 8 pounds, 7 pounds.
It could have been Django Unchained.
He could have been Django Unchained. There's a we could. You know what? Let's just do this. How about this? Erase all of that. Let's go all the way back to the late 80s and the early 90s. Fresh Prince the rapper, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air TV show, and run with it. Okay, and 6 Degrees of Separation, because I think that was like 1991. Okay, and I think Bad Boys also came out like 91, 92, something like that. So that would be his, if that's just his body of work, and then we go from that to King Richard, he still has a great body of work. What are we talking about?
No, we just got to talk about Bad Boys 3, man.
All right, so.
Then that movie he did with Margaret Robbie that bombed. You know what?
They
No.
did another movie together besides Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I forget what it
Oh,
was called though.
The one that helped his marriage get healthy.
wow. So what we're not gonna do is not bring up these wonderful actresses who played the Williams sisters in this movie because we wasted way too much time talking about Will Smith's career. We already know who he is. Let's talk about Demi Singleton, who played Serena Williams. She played the younger sister, of course, and I can't really say that I personally have seen her in anything, but it seems that she is slated to do good things. She was in The Godfather of Harlem. I watched some of that, but I don't remember seeing her. Also in looks like a movie named Goldie and a show called Showbiz Kids, which was
Dijon,
shown by
can you
HBO.
believe
Yeah,
this?
very young.
Dijon, he asked us what our initial thoughts are and then just said, fuck y'all.
Yeah. I'll come back. I'll double back. Don't worry. I got this covered, man.
I'm just going through the man's career of great movies he came out
No,
with.
it's
I'm not
fine.
saying
It's
they're
fine.
bad.
I got you.
I'm not saying
Well, because before
bad.
I also did realize I wanted to give their two backgrounds really quick.
Give their background
Before you guys gave.
No, I'm
your
just
initial.
teasing you, man.
Fine.
Yeah, we're just having
You know
fun.
what?
Yeah.
I can't take a poking. And then you have Sanaya Sidney, who, listen, I personally, my wife included, we've been waiting to see what was the next thing this young lady was going to pop up in. We think she's an amazing actress from the things we've seen her in before. She's in Fences with Denzel Washington. She's in The Passage, which is the book, or excuse me, a show that Fox put out after a Justin Cronin book. I always forget his name, but the guy who played Zach in Saved by the Bell, he plays her federal agent in that show. She was in Hidden Figures, and let me see. Oh, and the latest rendition of Roots. I know it was something else that she was in. So everything that I've seen her in, she's absolutely done well. Just to be so young and still coming through. To see her in this, I thought she did absolutely amazing, but we'll get to those details later. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to give is those things. We know who Will Smith is. We know he did amazing. I think he had very great co-stars, especially for little to barely or not even known at all. From there, I apologize. I now double back. Gentlemen, your initial thoughts.
All right. All jokes aside, the movie was cool. I mean, I didn't have any issues with this. To tell you the truth, I love Will Smith's performance. It's been a while since I enjoyed his performance in a movie. Especially the last movie I seen with him was legitly Bad Boys 3. It's refreshing to know he actually put some work into this versus, like I said, the last movie I seen was Bad Boys 3, where it was just like, hey, I wanted this shit, so let's do this. But it's like some thought, some real method acting was put into it, and it was great. I couldn't complain. I love the actors. I love his co-stars too as well. I don't know much about the Williams sisters or anything besides they play tennis and they're two black women from Compton, and it's just a start to fame movie. And I usually don't watch these movies for the simple reason that they're kind of like meh on the whole accuracy, or they just kind of miss a beat. And I say that because the last movie similar to this was what was it? Bohemian Rhapsody. I seen, and I didn't too much care for that movie, and I love Queen. I mean, the acting was phenomenal, but for me, it just felt like I was watching uh, how their greatest hits came together in that movie. But this one was refreshing to me. It had a lot of heart and soul, and it was nice. It was upbeating and great. I think it's a great movie for the holidays, for people to come together and feel good, as a family. But yeah, it's my thoughts.
Yeah. Let's see. So I'm gonna have to put the caveat up that I don't think that I can fairly assess the movie's like what I think about the movie necessarily because it's a biopic. I'm not a huge fan of biopics, and especially sports biopics. Like I was thinking to myself, thank God this isn't a baseball movie because I'd probably shoot myself. Like I couldn't think of anything worse than watching baseball than a baseball movie.
Let's watch 42 after this.
No, I don't want to watch any baseball movies. But all that is said, you know, I'm only saying that because like I don't think that I can take anything away from what was presented to me, you know, because it's telling a story that exists and it's telling a story that's real. And, you know, so like I can't be like, oh, well, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
because this is their, you know, real life. And I know that they collaborated with this and stuff. So I will say that I enjoyed the movie for what it was. It was a little bit long, but that's okay. Getting past my dislike for biopics, I liked Will Smith in this. I thought it was interesting that the girls kind of took more of a backseat in the whole movie than he did. I mean, it was really about him, which makes sense. It's called King Richard, so you kind of figure that it's going to be about him. I didn't necessarily dislike that. I think that he kind of carries the movie. So yeah, and I thought there was a nice ending there, and it kind of tied everything nicely up. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent. Again, my taste notwithstanding, I think it was a decent movie.
Nice. You know, I totally agree with everything you guys said. It was a good movie. Uh, I actually I can't say I like biopics per se, but I love to watch documentary of sorts, like anything that's going to chronologize events or kind of give me no, I have to say it. I guess I do like origin stories, but I used to think I didn't. I used to think I did it, and a movie like this definitely will make you have to admit that you may be a little more into those kind of things if they're well done, and this was very well done. And to exactly what you both are saying, one of the biggest takeaways for me is usually you'll get this type of a movie after a loss, like after retirement or a loss period, like someone's no longer with you. In this case, we're talking about people who are still here with us, people who can validate and, like you said, Nick, corroborate and work with the people who are telling the story. I appreciated that. I don't know if I can even say I've ever seen that before, where every single person that's involved in this to any really great magnitude is still there. And even if there were any levels of tragedy or things of that nature, it wasn't presented because this was, like Dejan said, a family feel good type of a film. It was a film of inspiration, I feel like.
Well, it could have gone the other way because Will Smith really made me hate him at certain points.
Yeah, which is great. Which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great acting.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like this one moment when I had a client and Jack Black was there, and my stepmom, who she showed up to this client's house. She's like, "Oh, that's Jack Black." Well, hey, that's just Black. And Jack Black was very nice. He introduced himself in this crazy ass way. And then my stepmom is like, "You were a jerk in King Kong." It's like,
yeah.
Then he just looks, bad guy. And he looks and he smiles. He's like, "That really means a lot."
Right.
Like, wait, what? He's like, "I did my job right." And knowing that I captured that essence of being an asshole, it makes me feel good that I can do something outside of me.
Man, that's a great.
And this reminded me of that time when we met him about Will Smith in this movie. I was like, "Yeah, dude, you're an ass. Like, are you stupid?"
Yeah.
Like, I get where you're going, bro, but come on. What the fuck?
Yeah, I was thinking the whole time, I'm like, okay, so it's really lucky that Venus and Serena became superstars, because this story could be told as a tragedy had they had failed.
Like what was that movie called? I, Tanya? just like that movie.
Yeah.
Just like the I, Tiny movie. What's funny, I didn't realize until recently that that was Margot Robbie as well.
Yep.
Funny.
And Sebastian, let's just say Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah,
Sebastian
and I love that
Stan.
movie, the I, Tiny movie. And again, me having to realize, like, maybe I do like origin stories.
Call them biopics. Origin stories makes them sound cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah.
You're enticing the audience.
Yeah.
No, I could understand exactly what you're saying though. Some of the tactics may have been a bit extreme, and that's something that, you know, being raised in Los Angeles, in and out of you know, round park programs, playing sports as well. Two things. One, you have to realize Venus and Serena today are 40 and 41 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So they are literally like the beginning of our generation, right? And when you consider that there are people who raised and were around us, like even all of us coming up, who may have seen them or be around. And I remember being young and you could hear like little stories and you'd hear like, oh, you know, the Venus and Serena Williams, the Williams sisters, right? Well, they used to play over here, and you'd hear it's like, okay. But, you know, that's what happens when you're in an environment, right? What I think is great about having this for people who don't have that, right? Because some people have that, you know, maybe from your neighborhood, somebody might have passed through, and now half the block has this one story about how they remember meeting this great person. I think what this movie is able to do is it's able to convey into every household, like, no, you can literally do that within your own household. Like, it doesn't have to come from outside. It doesn't have to be this big grand gesture. It can be as simple as just being humble and seeing how far that translates if it's implemented through a family system and not just through, you know, means of trying to have an image, so to speak.
Yeah. No, I mean that's that's what redeems Will Smith as a character, is that he's also a good father. Like he's not the, because in a lot of ways throughout this movie he's dancing the line of pageant mom. Like, you know, where he's just like trying to be the kid's manager and stuff, and so I'm glad that it didn't fall too heavily over to that side, because when he was doing that I was really disliking him. So, well, you know, but right. It's that type of character and personality that breeds champions. And the funny thing is that's why I said it would be a terrible story if Venus and Serena weren't superstars. I mean, thankfully they are, which then just reinforces why you know, like their father's idiosyncrasies. But had they not become superstars, this would have been a totally different story. It's like a you know, a dad that's forcing you to do something over and over and over again.
Right. And I think that's where the plan became so important. Like, I like how the plan from Richard specifically was almost like a testament of faith. Like, you may not see it, but you know there's a plan. Like, there's a whole plan right here, and this is how it's laid out. And if it wasn't explained that education and all of those other things were involved, including time off from tennis to give them the ability to grow, I'm right there with you. But I think I didn't think so much about that based on the continuing, and I think that was brilliant the way they continued to find a way to make sure that came back up. In certain discussions, whether it was with Rick, whether it was with mom, whether it was with the girls, whether it's with the media, the plan. It was driven home so much so that even when I would have, like you're saying, Nick, those thoughts of it being extreme, it's like, well, maybe a little adversity is a part of the plan. Like, is that in the 78-page plan?
I agree, and I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is that it's a paradox. We'll never know whether
you're right,
whether or not, because they are superstars. They did make it, you know. So it's like, so everything he did is justified because they became superstars.
Question is, what has happened to the sisters?
And it's not really that type of stuff that was really bothering me. It was just him kind of not taking advantage, but just kind of running the shots when people gave him help.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like those two guys that helped him out. The one guy that gave him the foot in the door, and then John Bernthal's character. Like John Bernthal's character, I mean, that dude let, you know, Venus trained there for what, 4 or 5 years before she even
They
started
even went to
competing,
another one, yeah.
Yeah.
and then
And he
bought
was
them a
being a dick
house and
about
shit.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
so that's what I meant when I was like, okay, he's frustrating me a little bit, because it's like that type of like, all right, dude, I know that we all know that your daughters are going to be superstars. So we as an audience are like, oh, this is
This is
okay.
working. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is okay. But that dude at the time probably didn't know 100%
Yeah.
whether that was going to happen or not.
Right. No. Well, and so that's something else that I think was brilliantly added in without putting too much on the contracts and the what I kind of call the wild side of sports, especially with sports where you can go pro young.
Mhm.
It's a whirlwind, like it's a circus. I know people who tried to go or have gone like pro, semi-pro, whether it be tennis, gymnastics, golf. Like these are things that you can do a little younger than like basketball and football and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mhm.
And it's weird when you hear the stories because, of course, I'm not in these rooms, I'm not around these people, but you hear the stories of, oh, well, this person had the opportunity to do this and then they did it and then this is what happened. Or you look at their lives, like, say, 5, 6 years later, and you realize like somebody had to invest, like somebody had to invest into them. And
Mhm.
so I'm thinking to us, it might seem crazy, but that might be as normal as it gets, like where
Well, I'm
they're
sure it's
dropping
normal to
those
take
kind
a
of
chance. Yeah. But
uh-huh. But
my
dealing
only
with his
critique
attitude,
is,
no.
yeah, Richard's attitude about the whole thing was a little bit, not just, he's a strong personality, likely. So that makes sense. But it's also like, come on, dude, this guy's trying to like help you. You don't have to be a
Right,
dick about it.
right. No, I get it. And yeah, I guess in a way we are kind of moving through the story. Um, I like how at a certain point to even because I was kind of feeling the same way at a certain point, Nick. I was like, all right, look, did the girls ever make any decisions
Right.
before they hit
Yeah.
20, 21?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Well,
Um,
I think in this decision, how they, just gave that opportunity for Will Smith and actually tell a character of their father in this format kind of
Mhm.
makes it different from most biopics because, like I said, the difference from this, from something like Bohemian Rhapsody, we know Freddie Mercury's dead. And the
yeah,
thing is, it's like, okay, but it's just like I said, the greatest hits. Where in this is like, all right, cool. I'm listening to Queen songs and the story of this dude. Okay, cool.
If Venus, oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And watching this, it's just like you kind of get lost. You some to a point, and you don't know the story of these people or have any concepts of them. It's just like you forget easily that it was a movie. And I
Mhm.
think with Will Smith acting and Nicole stars, it really brought that to life. Like it really brought the idea, hey, this is still a movie,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it doesn't need to be like 100%, like realistic and all of that stuff.
mhm.
But what I will say is I'm glad that Venus and Serena helped create this movie, because it would have been really creepy if it was just like, like the dad that was like, I want to make a movie about myself.
It
I
makes
would
me
I
a little
wouldn't be
much like what people
surprised.
try to make it seem.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised with his attitude or his persona.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I'm glad that John Bernthal's character finally kind of says that,
Mhm.
towards the end, where it's like, dude, sometimes it feels like you're the one that wants to be famous, and maybe there was a little bit of that, but
Right.
again, it's that energy that created champions.
Mhm.
So,
No, totally agreed. Um, so yeah, just quick run through of how this all goes. So the beginning of the movie starts, and we see Richard just shopping the girls from the very beginning. That's where we start the movie. He's going around, he's looking for a coach, he's explaining to the coaches. He has that 78-page manual, a plan that he made for the girls before they were born, and that they're following through with it. And at this stage, this is the stage that it's time for him to start looking for outside help because he can't do it all.
mm,
Um, he makes this decision because he found out that Virginia Ruzici got paid $40,000 for playing 4 days of tennis. Whereas that particular year, he only made $52,000 at his job, which I believe was a security job that he owned the company. That's what it seemed like. Like not just he worked for security, but he actually owned that company. So to only make 52K and you're running the company, I can understand the motivation behind that, right? Um, so from there we jump into seeing the girls. They're delivering yellow pages. Everybody knows them already. They're known around the town as the tennis girls, and dad's pushing them hard. Of course, they get harassed a couple of times. Dad gets beat up. Oh,
Tandy.
huh?
Tandy.
I
That's her
missed it.
sister name.
Oh, Tunde.
Tundi.
Tunde, you're silly.
I like Tandy.
God, we all like
Tandy
Tandy Newton.
Mhm.
Great actress. But yeah, Tunde, her sister, like getting the boys trying to talk to her because she's the oldest and they trying to get her attention, and dad standing up. I appreciated a lot of those father moments in this movie. Even some of the harsher ones, I can say, of course, we see them do quite a bit, right? We see dad do quite a bit. This movie follows that. The scene where after Venus wins and they're kind of gloating in the back seat, and dad ain't feeling it. He don't like that.
Cinderella.
Um, he makes him watch Cinderella, but when he pulled off, I understood where mom's was coming from, and I almost understood where he was coming from. I feel like there's a better way to teach that. When you live in the middle of Compton, walking 3 miles home is not the answer. So I definitely understand where mom was coming from. Like 3 blocks, maybe, dad, but 3 miles, like, hey, come on down off your horse, King. I got you. Hey, grab the shoulder. I got you. Come on. But there were a lot of big time lessons, huge lessons that could definitely be pulled from this, and that's where I like when Dejan said that this could be a family holiday movie. It definitely could be, because you could really sit around and have some good topical discussions after this. Um,
Marketed on purpose that way too.
oh yeah, for sure, right?
Just the time for the follow up when the Matrix, whatever the fuck it's called, is just as terrible as the
Nobody
last
wants
two.
to watch that.
And I'm never mind. I think what Will Smith should do is what I think he's been doing. Every time they know there's a Matrix coming out, put out like 4 movies.
Hey, hold on! Didn't they want him to be Morpheus at some point?
Neo.
No, it's going to be Neo. Yeah.
Oh hell no!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
that
wasn't
would have been
wasn't
interesting.
wasn't he supposed to be Neo and Alec Baldwin was supposed to be Morpheus? Or was it something like that?
Fuck.
I don't know.
Yeah, something of that nature. I could be wrong about the Alec Baldwin thing.
Wild Wild West was more important.
Where was I on this page, man?
I love seeing that every time.
I can play the song if you like.
Yes,
It was,
please.
okay, wait, really quick. Let's pause. I'll see where I'm at. I'm going to put my finger here. Listen, you know what sucks? I liked the Wild West soundtrack. So much so that I tolerated the Wild West movie, and I thought it was fun when I was a kid. And then I think by about 15 or something, 13, I seen it again, and I was just sitting there like, what? Why? Who? No.
Kevin Smith.
Again, he only has like 2 movies I don't like, if I'm being honest. So, hey, everybody is entitled to do a passion project that other people don't care for. And that was definitely Will Smith's passion project. So after the whole situation where Richard gets beat up by the thugs, he goes and he has contemplations of doing something irrational. But he sees something that is much more dramatic and worse than what he was going to do. Clearly, he has a change of heart. I feel like that was when he ramped it up, because that is when we see him go and take the girls to see, what was his name? Paul Cohen, John McEnroe's coach. So, and Pete Sampras' coach as well. So, I thought that was probably one of the bigger moments, one of the bigger scenes. Like from this moment right here, we kind of see the girls were almost, in my opinion, kind of like on this award tour. Before even being anybody, they were on this tour of this is what the Hall of Fame looks like. This is what the greats look like. Like, this is what you're destined for if you know what you're like, if you understand how to get there, you know? I don't think a lot of people get to walk that route when they're on their way up the ladder. And I think it can be a lot more encouraging to those who have the level of confidence that they have. Like,
So
when you
you just
already
walk
know
right through, walk right into their backyard.
that, yeah, he absolutely did. But technically, he had an appointment. And see, here's what's interesting about that. That almost seems crazy, right? This is not 2021. This is like the early 90s when people were way too comfortable.
Mm.
People were way too comfortable back in the day. And also something that it hits on for me though. Well, something also I'm reading Will Smith's book right now too. So his acting in this and some of the things I'm reading in the book about what he puts in acting, synonymous. But something else I read, and I want to say I also heard this. I want to say it was said by Dan Pena. But it was, going to rich places, going places that you can't afford to be in, hiring people or being around people, just trying to get in the ear or in the know of people who, or in things that you simply can't afford. Because how do you know what you're working for if you don't know what's possible? And I think that's what that whole training session, or just taking the girls, Richard taking the girls, and knowing Pete Sampras was going to be there, knowing John McEnroe, like he clearly knew what the schedule was. That's why he showed up at the time he showed up. You know what I mean? So again, for me, little small pivotal lessons in so many different instances. And I think that's one of the things that they had over some of the competition. A lot of those girls that they saw along the way, they never saw Pete Sampras and John McEnroe working out in the backyard to know that the greats are working out when nobody's watching. You know what I mean? So just little things that came to me as we were watching the movie, or I was watching the movie. And yeah, any other hot points or any hot points you guys have? Because I have a few more. But
Let's hear them, because I got nothing else. I think I've said my piece about the movie besides whenever we're going to do a rating.
right. Yeah, I mean, a lovely movie. Just again, I saw some hot points. I think I have like 5 pages of notes. I really like this movie. I wanted to watch it twice. I just didn't have the time. I'm going to. I just didn't have the time in the moment. So yeah, again, Richard wanted to make sure to preach and create lessons about being humble. I really appreciated when Oracene, their mother, went to check the neighbor and how she did it with class. She didn't. It's important to me in movies that once in a while we see someone who knows how to use their words and their energy appropriately and not be abusive or truculent in certain ways. We usually only get people demonstrating in a very abusive way, or
In,
aggressive
in,
way.
in many ways, folks, I'm going to say it, they just didn't act like typical black folks from Compton. That's what I'm going to say. On Bonquisha, she did not go Bonquisha on her. which I appreciate, because I got this biasness when it comes to I shouldn't say this way, but I see it a lot with black culture, and it pisses me off, and I hate this shit so much, and I hate it with my own son, and it pisses me off. And the thing is, what I see a lot in the black culture when it comes to school. Yeah, when it comes to schooling, it's no such thing as education for most folks. It's all about what sports they gonna play, and it bugs the shit out of me. And I get that about my son. Like, one instance, like, oh, he gonna be another little Marshawn Lynch from the way he run. I'm like, what the fuck that's supposed to be?
No, make him an astrophysicist.
That means that there's going to be some grown man on TV saying he has a bubble butt.
Oh, jeez.
No, that's a football thing. That's what they say.
He's tall. He looked like he can play basketball, or he can do some volleyball or something, or some badminton.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's lame.
Does he have to be sports, dude? And beyond those comments, just what I hear from other parents too about their kids, like, they kids, mainly male, they're not manly or womanly if they don't play some type of fucking sport. And I'm like, especially in the black community, and I'm like, look, come on, dude. But that is one thing I sincerely did enjoy about this movie. And, getting some bits about the Williams sisters' family and the father is the humility, and that was an important lesson for that. And you know what? You don't get too much parents, and it also touched upon um, other parents too, as well as white parents too, as well. And it's the same thing. Like they don't hold these relationships with their parents. It's like a broad view of it, and they don't hold these relationships with their parents. It's all about you're gonna do this because it's gonna make the money, and we're all gonna live good based off of this, and you're gonna do it, and there's no shape of form of you learning anything else but this art, and that's it.
Mhm.
And that's good to appreciate it. And you go back to somebody like Shaq. I can appreciate Shaq as an athlete and a person being well rounded. This dude didn't just say, "Hey, I'm just gonna play basketball.
Yep.
I'm going
Yeah.
back to school. I'm gonna get my
Well, and
shit together."
you're seeing a lot more. You're seeing a lot more athletes who are doing that, who have gotten their degrees, as well, so that they always know. And I think Richard says it in the movie. He says he didn't want his daughter to, make $2 million and then 5 years later have
Be
no
broken down.
skill set.
Which
And
is
so,
true
And
Yeah.
what's
because you
crazy
got
is,
most.
well, really quick, what's crazy is they'll never tell you how many double masters or masters specialists and PhDs are in professional sports. They'll never tell you that. And
I'm
they'll also
sure.
never tell you how many
Yeah.
people walked away from professional sports to become engineers and
Mhm.
physicists
Yeah.
or brain
And-
surgeons.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
Isn't
like
the
two or
same thing?
three, like honestly.
The same thing with actors too, as well. What I hear.
Mhm.
What's this dude name? I forget this dude's name, but the dude that played the Indian dude from Harold and Kumar.
I don't know
Ever
what you're
since
talking about. I forget his name.
he came
Emil
out,
Nanjiani.
Thank you.
that guy
Kumail.
is is that guy. You never thought that he was gay. Beyond that, it's just like this dude didn't just want to do one thing. That dude was into politics. He was doing all sorts of shit.
Yeah, dude
Dude
become
took
a
a break.
bodybuilder. He was buff for a minute.
I think that's the other dude. That's the other Indian dude from the
Yep.
Internals.
I don't know, man.
They all look alike to you, huh?
Oh,
No,
shit.
I really thought Kumail. You know what? See how that works? See how that works? See how he does it? Talking to you, Shaq. I'm talking to you.
You've done it with all races right now. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, I make mistakes all the time. I just own them and move on.
Hey, they look alike. I get you.
Um,
Marina, Helena, and Meryl Streep look alike to me.
They are the same person. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
But yeah, I like the idea that this movie touched upon that as much as it's a good lesson to be learned, especially for parents who got that shit stuck in their head
Mhm.
because you're from a certain background. You have to do it. It's like fucking what they do to beauty pageant girls.
Well, and especially since you can't play sports forever.
Right.
Yeah,
Professionally, anyways.
they live that shit through their kids.
Yeah.
And
You know what?
Go ahead.
It was just a little story. Well, my father, he went to Colorado University on a football grant. As soon as he got hurt, that was it. Goodbye. Go home. It's like there it goes.
Oh yeah, I think definitely education is taken for granted. And I'm gonna go as far as to say in America in general, we focus way too much on the bullshit. Um,
You don't say.
and mostly it's because of, like you guys said, it's what pays, is what people see as the glitz and the glam. Um, but hey, again, this is definitely one of those films that helped kind of cut through that fog. Helped you see the other side of that. And another part of this movie, because it's not just about, and that's why I like that it's about Richard Williams. It's not really about Venus and Serena, although those are the most pivotal moments that milestones of the movie involve Venus and Serena. However, there was also a milestone when they were leaving for Florida and their sister Tundi stayed behind. She stayed behind because she was going to college, proving that the plan that he had as far as education and upbringing and everything was working for the whole family. It wasn't just about them.
What about his two sons?
You know, who knows? We really don't know who and what they are or what they've done with themselves. Can't call it. But you know, I just don't think. Let's be honest. Even if they were twice removed step kids from another marriage, if they did something terrible or they were bad people, as big as the sisters are, we know. Period. So they all got to be decent people. If nothing else, at least decent people in the world. Not hurting nobody, not causing no ruckus where we got to find out and nobody's aware. You know what I mean?
What do we only know about Janet and Michael versus the other Jacksons?
Wrong. I could tell you where all the Jacksons are right now. I promise. I got their GPS.
Besides Tito.
Where is Tito?
Listen. I guarantee you can Google their GPS location right now. They want to be found. Knock it off. You know, Latoya want the cameras to know. You gonna tell me we don't know where the Jack? Now, if you ask me where Donnie and what's her name, Donnie Marie, ask me where they are, I have no clue. Now that's a great question.
I think they're in their 90s, so I think they're at home right now.
I would have thought 70s, but yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
Where's Blanket at?
Where is Blanket at?
Blanket's in his mid-20s thugging. What you talking about?
No, Blanket's in like his 30s.
Is he? You think so?
He's got to be now. Because what's the other one's name?
No. I think that dude is younger than us.
The girl.
No, Prince. Blanket, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Don't get me.
What's the girl's name?
Paris.
Paris.
Yeah. A couple years ago, she was.
I only know that because for a minute I thought she was Nicole Richie. I was like, so Nicole Richie just did her face all over again, or what happened? She looked like a younger version of her.
She left Justin Bieber alone. It went all her life. That's what.
Oh, Paris Jackson. Why are we talking about Michael Jackson's kids? How did we get here?
I don't know.
Oh,
no, I mean, there's not much. Yeah. When we like a movie, there isn't a whole lot to say.
I know. It just sucks when we don't have it. Like, I'm glad. Like, not. It doesn't suck that we're not tearing this apart, but
yeah,
when we don't, you're right. So 2 more things because I don't even know how we got so far down that rabbit hole of
going down your notes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. And I was talking about familial success, and you were asking me why we don't know where the rest of the Jacksons are because they can't sing. What else has Amy Jackson ever done? That's the real answer. Has a Jackson besides Janet and Michael ever
back
done
on.
anything else? Oh, crap.
See,
right.
you did it. See,
you fell in the trap.
This is what happens, man.
You know, you want a biopic for the Jacksons, mainly Janet and
I just got to get this snare off of my ankle.
You want a whole movie dedicated to the music video Scream.
I want a biopic of
I actually
Tito.
watched that documentary already. Knock it off.
You want a biopic of Tito? Just watch Rush Hour.
All right, there you go.
So I thought it was really cool that Venus was able to convince Rick to talk to Richard. Ricky talked to Ricky, but she was able to convince Rick to go and talk to her dad about getting her to compete. He's like, all right, maybe. All right, let's do it. And then Capriati, listen, that whole situation is crazy because they made the Capriati situation, from what I remember, I was really young, of course, and looked back because I remember doing some papers on on the Williams sisters when we were all younger, or when I was younger. And that was one of those things that it seemed like people would bring up for whatever reason. It was like a part of Venus's story, and it's like, how? Like, even with it being in this movie brings that back. It's like, how is that a part of Venus's story? I don't really get it. But I understand that it struck fear into her father. But it's like, the world happens. They didn't really say that Capriati did anything. She was just around people who were doing dumb shit. And that almost hindered Venus, but that was when everything kind of turned. So once that decision is made, I liked that this movie from that point didn't seem just like about the Richard Williams story anymore. Now it was, from that moment to me, it was the rise of Venus and the road that kind of was paved along that way. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but that's kind of how I saw from that point. Once once he took off the reins, because once she was allowed to get into the tournament, there was nothing else he could do. Like, from that point, it's really like the Richard Williams story is over. And, let's get rolling on part 2, Venus Williams. You know what I mean? And so yeah, from there we get the Nike deal, and for it to be what 14, 15, 14, and turn down 3 mil, boy, that's some faith, that's some confidence in yourself. But just knowing, hey, they ain't seen me do nothing. And then getting 4 mil offered the very next day and turning that down to listen, the ice out situation, it was crazy. I'll let people watch that and enjoy that piece of cinematic drama. But
Rule number one: when you're hot, don't take your first deal.
you did me? You get me? I think it
Just
was
don't take the first deal.
just
Yeah.
the discipline, the humbleness that they were raised with was able to translate into her automatically knowing that's not my number.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what y'all gave her, and this is what that's not my number. That's not for me. That's for somebody. I appreciate that you would, but that's not mine. I'll wait till you see who I am, and then you know what did offer me. And I can't say I would have had that kind of fortitude at 14 if I thought I could get my mother, my family, 3 million today. You know, um, so just again, a trip, more power to King Richard. It was his plan. It was the what he instilled. He and his wife. Let's make it very clear that he was married and their mother was there the entire time. And there's no possible way he could have did this by himself. Like, let's just be honest. Single parents could not work 2 and 3 jobs and spend this kind of time and do all those kind of things without maybe losing a couple of years off your life. And again, everyone in this movie is still here with us till this day. They are able to see the success of this movie and to see and hear all of our opinions and comments about it. 9 months after the tournament, even though Venus lost to Vicario, she signed with Reebok for $12 million.
14.
And excuse me,
14. I thought.
no, it said 12 at 15 years old. I was thinking
Yeah.
the same thing. I thought it was more than that too, because I actually had to Google it. I was like, was it only 12 for real? Maybe they offer, like, maybe I was thinking maybe there were incentives added on or something like that.
I hope she got percentages.
Oh, I'm sure over time, because I don't think she is still with Reebok, but I want to say, like, most of those kind of deals, they have some type of, like, because they come with signature shoes and all those kind of things. So I think if any of that apparel is still selling, I'm sure she still gets paid out of that. I would hope. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna use your verbiage. I would hope, because you never know.
Right.
Serena joined the tour 2 years later, and fast forward to 2021. At the age of 41, Venus has won Wimbledon 5 times. She is the first African American woman to be named the #1 tennis player in the world in the Open era. Also in 2021, at the age of 40, Serena Williams has won 23 Grand Slams. She's a 23 all-time Grand Slam champion and is widely considered by most, or many, depending on how you want to phrase it, as the greatest of all time in the sport of tennis. Closing remarks, guys? Anything other than how beautiful and great it was? You could say this was just a great movie again. And I just enjoyed talking about how great it was.
Wow, Wes.
Wow. Look at wow. Look at wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good movie. It's decent. Again, I do not like biopics, so I can't rate it. I mean, like, I can't relate it to anything else, and it's hard for me to even really critique the story as it is, because I don't know the real story. I mean, this could be the real story. It could be an embellishment. It could be a little bit of Hollywood mixed in there. I don't know. So from what I saw, I liked. From what Will Smith delivered, I liked. I think it's weird that the movie about the two of the most famous tennis players that have ever played the game is about their father. I think that's a little weird, but maybe they'll get their own movie someday.
With you saying that, actually, Serena has a series on HBO Max as well called Being Serena.
Okay,
and I believe Venus had a documentary some years ago on ESPN.
See, now, stuff like that, I'm more inclined to watch, because I feel like that's where I get the real experience and the kind of story behind it. and the events of their own life because it's them telling it in that sense. It's more genuine and natural in my opinion. But hey, it's Hollywood. Everybody needs to take something to make fucking money off of because they're too fucking lazy to be original.
Well, and you got to make a story a little bit more.
A little sparkly.
Yeah,
bit,
exactly.
yeah.
Sparkly.
You gotta throw some spirit fingers in there.
There you go.
And again, for me, I remember being young, growing up around parks and stuff, playing ball and all that. Literally, I even remember like in my family, every time the Williams sisters played, it was an event. It was like you call in this, hey, did you see? They play at this time, right? It's like, yo, that's 3 a.m., but they play, right? I just said it to record if you can't wake up. That used to be a thing. So to be at this age and to even have seen this movie coming out, I was excited just for that and to see how it played out. I agree with you, Nick. A little weird, but yeah, it really makes me look forward to seeing in another 20 some odd years, 15 years, if they do a Venus and Serena Williams movie just about them and what they went through with their dad.
They will.
I'm sure they will.
They will. It's like right after Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, we got Rocket Man. I'm like, really, dude?
And Will Smith will be retired, and Jaden will play their dad in that version.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, what's so funny?
You'll get your hope. Then you get your wish, and Willow will be in that one.
No, I'm having deja vu.
He's an icon living. Come on.
Off of something that I had. I'm reliving my deja vu from a month ago, but I was just like, it's just foreshadowing. Like, yeah, I know. You kids, they take that deal. Because guess what? His son looks like a crackhead. That kid is something else. I don't mind saying it too. I don't mind saying it, especially going to school with people like Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, didn't he like shave his eyebrows or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fucking moron. But that moron got the money.
Hey,
that's what happens when you have you're born as one of the most famous families in America.
I think his daughter is the most fucking tame one with common sense.
Probably. She seems the least outspoken.
They got 3 kids, right?
You said least outspoken?
Ooh, wait, boy.
Oh no,
I'm talking about the third kid. Mother. I'm talking about the third kid.
The third kid. There's a third kid?
Yeah.
I'm just asking. I didn't know. They got 3 kids?
Yeah, there's another kid, right?
But not their kid. Will had a kid before them.
Okay.
Has an older son.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I want to say he's Will the third. No, he's not famous. He doesn't want to be around and involved in all of that. It's not like he's some strange that nobody knows about. Everybody, like, he's done interviews and stuff too.
Probably doesn't want to hear.
I didn't.
Probably doesn't want to hear. So probably doesn't want to hear his dad cry.
Maybe. I think I'm getting older and I'm starting to realize I know way too much about other people's lives.
Well, the question is,
too much, and I don't even know if I'm comfortable knowing as much about other people.
Well, the question is, my wife tells me the same thing, especially with celebrity relationships. So my question is, do you know enough of your life?
Oh yeah, I know everything about my life.
And there you go. You're set. It's a hobby.
It's a hobby. For sure.
So don't ask me why I need to know the track record of Amy Poehler's ex-husband's life.
Will Arnett?
Yeah, I love Will Arnett.
I knew exactly who he was talking about, and I'm sitting here like, why he couldn't just say he's a Will Arnett fan.
Love that show, Lego Masters.
You like Lego Masters, I enjoy Flake. That was, I don't know if it was canceled on Netflix.
Flake, I think it was. He's just it was after season 2, in fact.
Well, Will Arnett's great. I love Will Arnett, especially in Ninja Turtles.
Where did he play, Shredder?
No, dude, he just played the camera, dude.
Oh God, I'm off of it.
And so Batman.
Yes, this has been our coverage, not of Will Arnett, but of the King Richard movie. Of the King Richard movie, which again is the movie of Venus and Serena Williams' father, Richard Williams, and the journey that he took them through on their way to tennis, Hall of Fame, superstardom, and the epitome of sports, essentially.
We're doing Lego Batman next.
Nice.
That would be actually really cool. You know why? Because then we could talk like this through the whole podcast.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah.
else will do anything.
No, no. I'm gonna need water. Get uncomfortable. It's my smoker voice.
All right. So yeah, man, we can dive right into ratings. And if I'm honest, we kind of just utilized some time to enjoy talking about this for a little bit because we could have just said this is great and gave ratings and got out of here because there is absolutely nothing wrong with this movie.
Yes, it is.
I would love to hear that.
But
No, no, no.
98%. I don't know, man. I can't call it a 98%.
Throwing it into the pool
It's in the conspiracy pool now.
with paper tigers.
I don't think it's in a conspiracy pool, honestly.
No,
I can see
I'm
how
teasing.
people could get a 98 out of this. But I'm at about a 94, 92.
Let me tell you this: fucking Spider-Man No Way Home has gotten a 98, and I will see if that's worth a 98 as of tomorrow.
Oh, yeah,
Spoilers.
exactly.
Wow.
If Toby ain't in that
Alright.
bitch, I don't want to see it. I
If
want to walk
Toby-
out that theater.
No Toby, no me. So yeah, so who wants to go first with their ratings?
Told you what I'm giving it.
I don't know.
Why would I want to do that?
I don't know. Why would you want to do that?
Why are you telling me what you giving it?
I don't know. I'm not going first. I know that.
You're going first, so you giving
Who's
it a 10?
going? Who's doing it?
Nick.
Is it me?
Nick
Yeah,
went first last
I
time.
can
I
do
think
that.
that John should go first. You know, he has an
Why
X on his head. I think we already know what he's gonna what his vote is.
Can I go last, please?
He wants to see where it's going to level out. He
Yeah,
wants to,
and
he wants to,
and I know that's
he
what
wants
he's
to
doing. That's why
level
I'm
the
trying not
movie
to let
out.
him go last this week.
No, I
No,
already got what I'm gonna give it.
you will not undercut us this week.
Okay, well, I think I'll just go then. My rating will probably be the lowest, not that I don't like this movie. I don't like biopics, so take my rating with a grain of salt because it's biased and yeah, I think Will Smith did a great job. It would have been nice to see a little bit more acting out of the girls. I think that they were kind of underutilized in this movie. Some of the music was nice. The story's good. The ending has a nice, good feel to it. So wasn't upset about that. For me, it's like a 7.5. It's a good movie. It's great, but you know the way I see it as a 98. I don't know. I can't rate a biopic in the 90s. I just can't because it's all stuff that you can't refute. You can't say anything against it. Okay, this is a story of their life. Okay, well, you gave us a story of their life. How do I rate that against anything else? So, for me, 7.5.
Very nice. Very nice.
We're watching Undercover Brother after this.
Hey man, as long as it's only hot sauce on the table.
I love Mel. Fuck wrong with y'all.
Hey, listen, that's Caucasian hot sauce per the movie. If you guys never seen the movie, you just have to go see the movie. I am gonna go next. Dejan, you have to wait. I'm sorry. So I have to be honest. I love this movie, man. Like, okay, so I want to hit a couple of points really quick. Imagery, loved it. Cinematography, loved it. I agree with Nick. The girls could have got like just a little more in because I liked both of them in almost every single scene they were in. But they could have flexed the acting chops a little bit more. The mom as well. I loved her scenes, especially when she had to. Every scene she really had where she had to get in, it was either like super hot or super cold. So I love that. I'm going to rock with the same 9 that I was thinking. I want to give it a 10. I really want to give it a 10. And the only reason I'm not going to give it a 10 is the exact same reason that Nick said, except I'm not deducting as many points. It's the biopic thing. Source material is easy. You just have to do, at that point, follow the instructions of the story you're hearing. You know what I mean? And if you have the right storyteller in front of you, that is cake. So yeah, but I absolutely loved it. I would love to give it a 10, but this is not a fantasy This is a documentary of sorts, and it was very enjoyable. Most documentaries for me probably would have got by the 7.58 what Nick gave. So this 9 is soaring above and beyond. So yeah. You know what? I'm going 9.5 just because it's also a story that I can think of certain things that I may have heard in my childhood that may corroborate. So yeah, I'll go 9.5.
Already? Might as well just go for 10.
As well.
Yeah. I'm going to encourage it.
Oh, you're talking to me. Man, if you want to give you a vote.
I give it a 9. It was cool. I liked it. I watched it again. I stand by what I said. I'm not a Will Smith fan, and that's it.
It's funny because I knew you were probably going to deduct at least 1 point for Will Smith. And it's like,
No.
I get it.
No, to tell you the truth, I don't like a lot of people, but I'm going to give credit for where it's due. And you know what? The movie was good. Only thing I got to, a huffy about is just it being a biopic, and that's it. But anything else, it was cool.
Okay, so we all kind of come from the same angle. It's like everything else was amazing. I can definitely say that. All right, so that gives us
Just too many black folks.
8.6.
Too many black folks.
Hey. Come on.
so tired of this man. I'm sorry.
I'm
What was
watching
that?
too much Dave Chappelle. I'm sorry.
8.6 out of 10.
26 out of 30. 8.6 out of 10. Perfect. All right, so an 8.6 out of 10. That is a pretty amazing score. And it's ironic you said that because I've been watching a lot of Dave's sketches this week as well. So yeah, that gives us an 8.6 for the review of the King Richard movie that we just happen to keep bringing up other actors and actresses all the way through. But hey, they were all relevant in their own ways, shapes, terms, and references.
It's gonna happen, people. I am the divergent of the group.
Please never, ever make us watch that movie or that series. Ever. Make sure I say
I don't know what that is.
Oh, good.
I didn't think. Thank you.
I'm mad I just introduced something to you guys. Now I'm angry at myself. So, again, we have an 8.6 as our rating for the King Richard movie. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and staying with us this evening. Or whenever you're listening. Maybe it's daytime, maybe it's morning, maybe it's like dusk or dawn, or maybe you just call things differently because you are who you are, and that's the confidence that you were bestowed upon when you were a child, and it carried with you. We appreciate that. Take that same level of confidence, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. In fact, hit a share button because we appreciate that you're here. We want to keep doing this for you. We want to give you so much more content, so much more material. So you got to let us know what you like by hitting a like, hitting a subscribe, sitting something in the comments. We're always going to be here for you. Check us out also, or check Nick out with Ayla and Mike. When they do the Exofathom on Mondays, they come on at 8 p.m. They are always going to have something interesting, something that you honestly did not think about and probably haven't thought about at any point in your life. But once you watch the Exofathom, or you just tune in as you're cooking or moving about, you're going to hit that subscribe. You're going to hit that like, and you're going to know when they're coming on the next Monday. Ask me how I know. I follow the page.
And I'll tell you this, Nick.
Yes, sir.
You guys show is my in and out. It's my in and out time.
Nice.
Hey, nice.
When I'm in that line waiting for my in and out to
Yes.
take that order,
There we go.
that's what we're listening to in the
I
car.
appreciate
That's
that.
a whole half a show right there, easily.
Yeah. It does take a long time at in and out.
Awesome. Also, come on over on Tuesdays. If Numbers Could Talk is going to be there for you. If Numbers Could Talk is a show that I host. My name is Keelan. I give you all kind of statistics. I might bring up some comic books, or I might bring up a sport. Just yesterday, I had an episode and I covered billionaires. Want to know something about billionaires? Or I didn't really name names. So I guess if you want to know about billionaire industries, look that episode up. If Numbers Could Talk, I'm on there on Tuesdays, and I'll be sure to give you new content every Tuesday all the way around for you. Check me out. Let me know what you think. And if you don't like numbers, guess what? I'm going to probably be bringing you some new stuff too. So still hit that subscribe, hit a like, share one of the videos that you enjoy when you pay attention to it. I appreciate you guys. If you have Twitch, go ahead and check out Strawberries and Coffee. If you don't have Twitch, where have you been, bro? Like, everybody watches streamers now.
Just sign up.
It's
Exactly.
easy.
And I'm back on YouTube too.
Oh
Hey.
yeah. So go on over to YouTube and hit up Twitch. Strawberries and Coffee. Dejan's gonna be over there playing all kinds of games. Are you still playing Sonic?
Yes, come on.
Oh
What do
yeah.
you
I
mean?
mean,
My movie list for March into April is long. I got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I got Robert Pattinson's Batman,
oh
and
god.
what else I got?
Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Then I got Sonic 2 at the end of the month.
Nice.
What's so interesting about that is all of those are definitely gonna have some game somewhere. Even if they just throw Doctor Strange on one of the fighting games or something as a skin, he's gonna be
Mm.
somewhere.
And maybe Uncharted.
There you go. So I love that, man. That's really cool. Are you going live on YouTube or are you just uploading back up there?
Just uploading for now.
Just uploading. Okay, so Tuesdays and Thursdays, Dejan's on Twitch, Strawberries and Coffee, and the following day he'll be uploading that to YouTube for you guys to check out at your leisure. After you've subscribed, liked, shared a couple of those videos, come right on back over here to the Screen Time Continuum. By then, I'm sure you've already liked, subscribed, followed, shared a couple of videos. You go scrolling and you're like, whoa, they watched that too? Yes, we watched that too. Watch that video when you get a chance. We appreciate you. For the Screen Time Continuum, my name is Keelan.
I'm Nick.
I'm the mustard.
I appreciate you guys and just let us know something about ourselves. We love it.
Good night.
Please.